Well, hello. I am excited to be with you today via video to share with you some information about using the walkthrough tool that was developed for the preschool local assistance grant last year, and now you have the opportunity to use this year. I'm hoping that what we can do is to show you how you can use the walkthrough tool to help you to improve your preschool inclusion practices. That's really the goal, right? The important thing here is that the tool is evidence-based, it's easy to use, it really encourages teachers to reflect upon their practice, and more than anything, we want it to be non-threatening for everybody. So the agenda is three-part. We want to talk about the tool, we want to talk about how it's developed, and then give you some key aspects of implementation to get you going. So, know that where it came from. This came from the work that's being done in California related to inclusion and the SIP grant and the PLAG, or the Preschool Local Assistance Project. We looked at existing tools and we looked at existing evidence associated with best practices for preschool and inclusion. And then we developed a matrix of practices and domains of practice. I'm going to show you those in a second. And from that matrix, we actually developed the tool, which is an online survey tool, which allows you to collect some information as you go through your walkthrough. So that's really where this all came from. Many of you saw this because we reported on it last year, and you perhaps had Kevin or Kristen walking through classrooms in your building and learning from and with your teachers as a part of this process. So, knowing a little bit about the background and where it came from, here is really a very six-step process to use. Right now, you are going through the observation training. We want you to know about the instrument. We want you to know a few things about the process of walkthroughs, and then what you can expect in terms of data on the other end. So that's step one in terms of training. Step two is to really familiarize yourself with the matrix and the practices we're looking for as we do look for as the part of the walkthrough. So you really want to familiarize yourself with the ideas and the tool itself. And then third is to actually schedule those walkthroughs. Think about scheduling them on typical days, not unique days. And try to avoid, mealtime, snack time, outdoor play, when you wouldn't be seeing instructors in action, because we're really focusing on key instructors. And we want you to make sure you include an observation and a brief discussion with the teacher, allowing them to talk about their practices. There's the reflection part, right, to get them to actively talking about it. Realize this is probably going to take 30 to 45 minutes. And part of that is completing the tool itself. So as you're doing that walkthrough, please focus primarily on the lead teacher. There may be more people in the classroom, but please primarily focus on the lead teacher, because that's what we're looking for. And then second, you have to really think about what are the look-fors, and I'm going to give you the domains associated with those, but really be thinking about, here's what I'm looking for. And then you have to carefully consider, am I seeing this? Am I not seeing it? And is that lack of not something being there because of the context, or is it because someone's not doing it? So, we're tuning into certain things, right? And we're using the matrix and the tool to really to hone in on certain aspects as you're going through a walkthrough. And then you can submit that observation, right? So we can collect information on it. We will share that information back with you as we go along, so you can have some sense of what's happening in your classrooms and the growth that might be occurring. And finally, make sure, as part of that discussion with your teacher, you can talk about some of your observations. There's the opportunity for growth. We really want to do that in a non-threatening way. This is not evaluation. This is a walkthrough. It's not even observation in a formal sense. It's getting a sense of what our colleagues are doing, and always with the spirit of trying to grow. So here is the practices that we talk about. And we really divided this into 6 domains: culture responsive pedagogy, learning environment, that behavioral intervention, engagement, representation, action, expression. You hopefully recognize engagement, representation, and action expression as part of UDL. And then within each of those domains, so culture responsive pedagogy, we have different look-fors, right? So promote respect for student differences, And that is defined as 4 things. Model high expectation for students, that's defined as 3 things, right? Communicating culturally, linguistic, and culturally responsive ways, and that's defined as things. So what you're seeing then is that each area, let's take behavioral intervention. Do you see and hear clear expectations in the classroom? And then there's 2 things that you can specifically use as definitions. Is there reteaching happening? And then particular things to look for in terms of definition of that. So we have these 6 domains. And then within that, you have specific things to look for related to those domains. And that's the matrix. This is another representation of that same thing. So it's less detailed, but we're really talking about 6 domains with then very specific look-fors in each of those 6 areas. This is the organization of the tool itself, and I'm going to show you that tool in just a moment. So the tool itself, let's talk about that tool. I'm going to go click over here. The tool itself here is the web page, and you're going to first identify your school district, right? And then you can talk about the date. This is the classroom you're looking at. This is who's the person who's actually conducting it. And is this your first observation, a final observation, or a midpoint? And then you have each of those dimensions present. So dimension 1, I'm going to go back here. Dimension 1 from the matrix is culturally responsive pedagogy. Let's see if I can get rid of some of the stuff on my screen. Culturally responsive pedagogy, and you see that it is represented then by questions 6, 7, 8, and 9 in terms of those very promoting respect for student differences. That's question number 6. Question number 7, modeling high expectations for all students, and we have the little look-fors articulated. And then you're just saying, is this present from not at all to always present? Or is this not applicable? So you're saying, when I went in and I did this look for, did I see this? Did I not see it? And you're making your own judgment about whether it's not present at all, it was only present some of the times, or this was really evident. So I saw real evidence that there is respect for all student differences in this classroom, as represented by students' ideas are reinforced, students' identities are reinforced, and differences between students are positioned really positively. So this is what you're looking for, right, with each of these questions. And then you can look at the next domain, learning environment, same type of thing. The third one, behavior. So this really gives you an opportunity to connect this matrix with a tool to say, am I seeing these things in a classroom? And you can put some notes down here for your own information to help you as you think about this. You have to probably even develop a strategy, right, in terms of your steps to really think about, well, how do I make sure I tend to see if I see these things in the classroom? One thing that's going to happen is that you are going to really tune into the matrix in terms of practices. So you're going to be really looking for these 6 different domains, which we know to be good practice. And ultimately, right, you can submit the survey or the tool, and we get data that we can then share back to you about your practices in your school, connected to school and district, connected to each and every teacher. So we're going to share this presentation with you, so you have that. We're also going to make sure that you have the matrix and an information sheet about implementation. That's this document. And there's a paper version of this tool that we're going to share with you. All is information to help you in your implementation as you walk through. Just a reminder though, I think one of the key things is these 6 steps. Training, familiarize yourself with the tools, scheduling, making sure you take some notes, submitting your observation, ultimately providing a good discussion to talk with the teacher about the walkthrough. I hope this little video has been helpful. If you have further questions, we at the project are happy to help you.